We need to be able to determine what quadrant an angle lies in, the terminal side lies in, based on the signs of trigonometric functions. To do this, we're going to really heavily rely on that mnemonic. All students take calculus. So A for all student, S for students, T for tangent, and C for calculus. And what this is telling us is in the first quadrant, all of the trigonometric functions are positive. But in the second quadrant, only sine is positive. Cosine and tangent are negative of our big three. In the third quadrant, tangent's positive, cosine and sine are negative. And in the fourth quadrant, cosine is positive, which leaves sine and tangent to be negative. So if they tell us, for instance, as in this first problem, that sine is greater than 0. Now let's think about that. What does greater than 0 mean? It means sine is positive. If something's greater than 0, it's positive. If something's less than 0, it's negative. And cosine is less than 0, so cosine is negative. So of this particular angle, sine is positive, but cosine is negative. That means it has to be in one of these two quadrants because that's where sine is positive, but cosine is negative, which means, oh, we must be in quadrant 2. So we can use all of these little pieces of information to decide what quadrant are we lying in with this particular theta. So what if cosine is positive, greater than 0, and tangent is less than 0 or negative? Well, cosine is positive in quadrants 1 and 4, but tangent is only negative in quadrant 4. So this must be a quadrant 4 angle. What if secant is less than 0 and cotangent is less than 0? Well, this thing doesn't talk about secant or cotangent. But remember, secant and cotangent are just the reciprocals or the upside downs of cosine and tangent. So if secant is negative, then when we flip it upside down, cosine will be negative. And if cotangent is negative, then when we flip it upside down, tangent will be negative. So where is cosine and tangent both negative? Well, that's a quadrant 2 angle. See if you can figure out D on your own ahead of time. But what is this saying? It's saying sine is negative and cosine is negative. Well, where are sine and cosine both negative? Well, only in quadrant 3.